Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the invite, and thank you for bringing me here today. And I'm happy to showcase you the core and how a strategy game can eventually come alive. Just to give you some background where we are coming from, and the good news. So we just got accepted to the Helica Accelerator. You must know Helica, big and strong gaming analytics platform. And we are basically a part of the second cohort. It's so new that it hasn't been announced yet. And the first cohort members have already raised some funds. They also have some backing with Pantera and other partners, but we are part of the third cohort with fellow members like Jan Navi, who has built a Mahjong game, and they have like 6 million users. So that's where we are coming from, and let me tell you that what the vision that we are building here. We want to bring the next genre in gaming, and how we do that is that we want to create the dynamic strategy games, which means basically interactive strategy games where player decision and contribution AI co-create a real-time narrative. And the AI part is fine because they do what we want to do them, but the people we need to motivate, and how we motivate them is that we bring a sustainable economic model to support their interaction and their motivation. So the problem that we identified is that the games are limited. Even as myself, I'm awaiting for the next release of the Civilization game, which is like 2 or 3 years from now. And once I receive the game, I basically play around with the previous gameplay. And I evaluate that whether it's better or worse than a prior version, but I eventually lose interest and move to the next one if I have time. But this results in is redevelopment costs by the studios, reacquisition risk and cost by the studios, and people have to wait 2 to 5 years for the next release. And imagine that situation in the current attention span of the younger generation. So what we want to do is we want to make this whole gameplay interactive, and we want to bring people into it. And on that note, we want AI to create the visuals instantly, but we also want to bring the reactive storyline to it. So how we solve the problems is that we want to create a more engaging gameplay. We want to eliminate the gap years that game studios are facing, and we also want to do this in an auto development mode that I will tell you about more in a little. Why we do this now and how we do this? The reason is because the technology just got ready to build such games. Even Jensen from NVIDIA has a vision that all the games will be real-time auto-developing in 5 years, but he mainly meant the visuals. We want to extend it into the narratives. And generative AI can already create better visuals than the game designers, and large language models now can build complex narratives and manage multiple people interacting. And if you mix this with the blockchain evolution of tokenization and monetization and decision-making possibilities, that's already proven. That's when we have a mix that can evolve. And yeah, games are already considered as the catalyst to bring millions of users to the game, to the networks. How it works exactly is that we want gamers to be part of the narrative building. So whenever some new people are coming into the game, they receive some information and they have to make a decision about this information, that what kind of decision they make, whether they build, join a fight or explore. That will drive the narrative, that will evolve the narrative, and the people have to react. So the AI will populate scenarios based on the events in the game, and then people need to make a decision again as a whole, and that will drive the next clues, that will drive the decisions further. So it's like a constantly evolving loop, but loop not in a bad way, but in a good way, because there's always new things to happen within the game. So we are not only trying to build a really nice Web3 game, we are building a game which is also innovative in the traditional manner how games are built and how strategy games are operating right now. And that's how we want to engage the users. That's the story that we want to bring the users in. And yeah, we already had our MVP out, and with the MVP we already validated that people are engaging and they are willing to pay more for the experience than what they are paying for a traditional strategy game. Our revenue model is quite simple, so we are selling land in exchange for some Matic at the moment, but we will increase this as the exploration goes further, and as we have new revenue models for new game features. Generating revenue is nice, but we need to create an economy which is really evolving. So that's why we introduced the influence token, which is the fuel and the governing power of the core economy. That's what people receive for engaging with the game. That's what they use to engage with the game again. So that's what they use to engage with the features. That's what they use to make decisions. So it's a combined utility and governance asset within the core. Like I mentioned, we launched the MVP. The whole purpose was to validate that people are engaging in such experience and they want to cooperate and want to build stuff. But where we want to end up is like a multi-chain abstracted solution. So we don't want the blockchain to limit the possibilities, and we want to build an engaging gameplay for multiple style of game genre. But the ultimate vision is that we are going to create a game that builds itself. on the long term. I showcased you some numbers on the validation. As you can see on the numbers, these are not fake. So we just really minuted a couple of hundred of dollars of budget. We onboarded more than 200 users, and we already have some revenue. But the purpose was to prove that the concept is working. So with the fundraising, we would like to reach a stage where we are actually one of the best performing games overall. This is the roadmap to reach this vision. It all starts with building the features to make sure that we have the utility and all the features for the EFL, and that is what we want to launch in multiple series in the next by the end of the next quarter. And eventually, with new game features, a couple of more runs, we want to create a game which can really come alive and scale to the global level. Right now, we are raising last sentences. Right now we are raising 750K. The whole purpose is to bring the game to the next level and launch the EFL token. With the revenue, we would like to break even in the first year and then even scale up from there with multiple sources. And what unites us all in the game is that we are all passionate about Web3 strategy games and space exploration. So basically, whoever joins us share the same passion. So that's what keeps us together. I do have a couple more slides as support, but time is up. So let me finish up, and happy for your questions.